4 o'clock here in the Netherlands. So let's start with today's webinar, where we'll focus on maximizing the visibility for your technology on the platform technologycatalog.com 24/7. My name is Vincent from Beusekom. I'm the COO and CTO here at technologycatalog.com. In that role, I look after the technology platform development as well as the operation. Today, I'm joined by Erik Nijveld, and I'll let Erik introduce himself.
Hello everyone, indeed, Erik Nijveld, co-founder. I look mostly after sales and marketing, and very much looking forward to today's event.
Thanks, Erik. And we actually split the webinar in two today. I will start with an introduction, mostly focused on what you can do as a supplier to maximize your visibility on the platform. To do that, I'll guide you through the process on how to add your technology, but also share a couple of best practices on how you can be visible at the right level towards our end user community. If you have any questions during that session, just type them in the chat function and we'll pick them up after that part of the webinar. Then I'll hand over to Erik, and Erik will show some of the features that our end users will see, which will be based on the data that you provide, so that you have a good feel for how end users look at your technologies and what kind of features they have to search for the right technologies for their challenges. So let's start. So from the homepage on technologycatalog.com, I've shown here an account which is based on my own demo account that I would like to use for the purpose for today. So I've already set up an account and I'm now logged in. As a supplier, when you then navigate to the top right of your screen, you'll be taken to your toolbox environment. The toolbox is actually the core part of this platform, where you set up your technology pages and you also manage them after you've set up your pages. For the purpose of today's session, I've actually set up a dummy technology page already. If you add a technology, you'll be taken straight to what we call the page builder. This is the place on the platform that allows you as a technology supplier to set up your page just the way you like it. Take you through some of the typical fields that you will see. First, obviously, you have to start with the title of your technology. Choose a very catchy title and subtitle that really shows what the key benefit is of your technology. That's what we typically see what will trigger people to look at your technology page. What we actually often see is that technology suppliers use their brand name or a very marketing-rich title, but quite often that doesn't really mean a lot to the users of our platform. We would strongly advise to use something that really focuses on the problem that you're addressing. Then you can continue building your page by providing an introduction on your technology. Show where your technology is making the most impact. And the way that we allow you to do that is by 4 categories, what we call relative business impact. You have 10 points to score within CO2 footprint reduction, cost reduction, production enhancement, or safety improvement. So in that way, you can show the end user where the focus is of your technology. Moving on, you can add your pros and cons. And actually, we always require at least 1 con before we would allow you to publish your page. We do that to essentially give the end user a very balanced overview of your technology, as no technology is perfect. Then we get to a very important part of the page builder. This is what we call our tagging section. And actually here, it's important to select the key areas of where you would like your technology to be featured. Select the right ones. So for example, industry, select the industry that are the core of your focus. Some technologies, of course, apply within multiple industries, but it will help yourself to keep it focused so that the right potential clients will actually see your technology. And you will see the tagging system is actually structured along different lines. So industry, but also key themes or disciplines that you can all select. Then you get to a section where you can add the key specifications. And I'll show you an example in a minute so that you will see actually what this looks like when this is all completed. Add images and videos. And you can add the technology readiness level, your technology. The last field is actually a little bit of a technical field. This is a field where you can add keywords which will actually help to boost the search engine performance of your technology. So again, an important field that you should use to use the key terms where you want your technology to be found, or how you want your technology to be found. As said, let's now have a look at how this would turn out when you see a page with real data. So again, I'm taking you to a dummy page for technology that's called Minimum Intervention Strategy for Inspection, focusing on reducing turnaround time by optimizing inspection. So as said, very clear subtitle explaining what the purpose of this technology is. Actually, in this case, it's more a methodology than a technology. Well, in this case, the information has been filled out. So short introduction, pictures on the right-hand side, pros and cons, the company profile on the right-hand side. This is also something that you can manage from your toolbox. I'll show you that in a minute. The key specifications. So you see areas where the technology can be applied, whether ATEX certification is an issue. In this case, it's not. Certain certifications or compliance levels. Then you also see two parts, which are actually not part of the page builder. The first one on the right-hand side is the overview of clients that have already deployed your technology. So in this particular case, since it's a demo page, we just use an undisclosed client. I'll show you a real-life example in a minute as well. This is information that we can add to your page. So simply send the list of clients to our support team, and then we will make sure that the logos of your clients will appear in the list here. It's a very important feature, and actually Erik will come back to this again in the second part of the webinar. End users are actually able to find your technology based, for example, on how or who has already deployed your technology. So the part that we've discussed is all information that you control as a supplier. It's your data. Then there's also an element that we control for you, and that's the review section. So users of the platform can submit reviews, and this can be tech experts that work for independent consultancy firms, but it can also be your clients that you can invite to share reviews. And they can share short reviews addressing the experience with your technology. When a review is submitted, it's always checked by us before it's being published. So we check if it's genuine, but we also share it with you as a tech supplier. So let me just go back just to repeat what I said, where the audio went missing. So after the page is published, then of course it's the most important part is interaction with end users, and a key part of that is what we call the interaction center on your page. So when an end user visits your page, they can see this section here where they can see the contact person's name and the job title and the picture if you've added that to your profile. And then there are a couple of standard questions that we have prepared for you. For example, simply just, I want more information, or I want to set up a meeting, But if you have a specific question, you can also just simply type it and then send it. And then again, also for this part, the toolbox is the main part for you, for the platform. In the toolbox, you can also see the messages. And actually, before the webinar today, I just put in a dummy message here, so you can actually see how they come in, and then you can reply to the end user that has asked the question. They will get a notification also by email that there's a new message waiting for them, and then the interaction can start. So this is the part which is, I would say, apart from replying to message, mostly the passive part of being on the platform. You've set up your page, and but then actually you're still a bit blind until the moment that questions start to come in. There is actually a service that we provide that allows you to actually see who's using your or who's visiting your page, and who's showing an interest, and what actions they're actually taking on your page. So you can also use that to improve your page. To show you that feature, I would actually like to show you a live technology page. It's from one of our supplier clients, and it's a technology called a double block and bleed saver. So as you can see, again, same format of the page. You actually do see the actual information on technology users, and also supplemented by real reviews. So a feature that we provide for every technology supplier is a data analytics feature that is available for our growth and pro plans. And with that, you get this analytics button for your technology, and that opens the analytics dashboard. So this is specifically for this technology page. And what it gives you is an overview of all the all the companies that the visitors of your page are working for. So it gives you a good impression of where the interest is coming from, supplemented by more specific data. So you can, for example, see within a set time period. So here it's from November last year to today, which is the standard interval. You can see the number of page views, but you can also see what people have done on the page. So here you can see that people have clicked on YouTube videos, they've gone to the company websites, but also gone to back to the homepage from this technology page. You can see how much time they've spent on the page. On the chart below, you can actually see where the visitors are coming from, and you can see from a month-by-month basis how the level of visitors is varying. So particularly, for example, the number of clicks on the page can really help to see, hey, if we place a new video, are we seeing an increase in the number of clicks? Or maybe see, hey, are we actually seeing more traffic going to our own company website as a result of the presence on the technologycatalog.com? So this is the basic part, the part I wanted to show for suppliers, is how to set up a page, but really make sure you get maximum visibility. In summary, I think one of the key messages, and I will actually use this actual page for that, because this supplier, I think, has done this particularly well, is just to summarize some of the, I would say, the best practices that when you're setting up your page or reviewing your own page, on how you can make sure that it gets maximum visibility within our user community. So first of all, really be critical on your title. Have a short and catchy subtitle focusing on what your technology is actually solving. Brief but informative introduction. Really trigger the interest of the users. The key pros and cons and specifications so that people immediately know, is this going to solve my problem, yes or no? make sure you work with your clients to add the full deployment track record, because it can really help to encourage other potential users to reach out to you. And building on that, work with your network of perhaps of consultants, but more importantly, your client, to make sure they leave reviews on your page. And with that, I would like to open the floor for questions before I hand over to Erik. Let's see if we have any questions in the chat already. And otherwise, we'll just pick up the questions at the end of the webinar when we usually have our Q&A session. If there are no specific questions on this part yet, suggest hand over to Erik first, and then we will cover the Q&A at the end.
Thanks, Vincent. And indeed, let me share my screen, and hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I'm still going to use Vincent's microphone. Let me share my screen. So in addition to what Vincent already shared, we would like to share with you some tools and insights that we make available to end-use companies that have a subscription with us. And for that, I'll share my screen. And end-use that have a subscription with us, what they have is that they see what's called the Insights Navigator in the toolbox. So what you see here is the toolbox environment with a setup fairly similar to what a supplier sees. Some differences, and a key difference is the Insights Navigator that an end user sees. So multiple companies already have this as part of their subscription. Small ones, but also very big ones, like Aramco, and also multiple Shell operating units. What they then see is, to start with, is a overview of how active companies are. Chevron is listed at the top here. So this is done from the perspective of Chevron user. Therefore, it's listed here. The moment we deliver this to a specific company, the company name of that company that has a subscription with us is listed at the top. And what you see here is an overview of how active companies are relative to others. For the sake of argument, Chevron has done 100 maintenance deployments. Then what you see here is how those technology deployments are spread out across the subcategories of maintenance that you see listed here on the right-hand side. And for end-user companies that have subscribed to us, we make different categories available as per their needs. So some companies want to see maintenance, other also digitalization, as well as other areas, wells, subsurface, etc. So various categories can be shown. The user can then navigate over the chart. Say, for example, going to, well, PP in this case, and looking at monitoring technologies. And what you see here is a list of technologies. And with a green dot are technologies that, in this case, BP has deployed, as well as Chevron. Also technologies with a gray dot, meaning that BP has deployed the technology, but Chevron not yet. So that immediately gives ideas of what Chevron could do and replicate what BP has used already. And from here, a user can click on the content and go, in this case, the selection of technologies that BP has deployed. And from here, you can click on it and look at the page of the technology. For example, we can go to this one and we can see a page similar to other pages on the platform, at least in terms of structure, and emphasizing the various features of the technology. And what we then do as well is that we give technology ideas. Let's still focus in this case on maintenance technologies. Let's focus on monitoring technologies. We still look at it from the perspective of Chevron. And in this case, it shows a list of technologies that Chevron has not yet deployed, but that other companies have. So in this case, 4 companies are being listed. And then again, the moment we make this available to companies, and not only the categories can be selected by the company that has a subscription with us, but they can also choose against which companies they would like to be compared. And in this case, yeah, you see multiple technologies successfully used by others. And from here, people can click on a page. Well, let's go for this one. It's a technology that again has a structure. The way it's being presented is similar to the other technologies on the platform. So you see the technology readiness level, a bit about the technology, etc., pros and cons. And in this case, also the deployment references. And in this case, also a review. And those reviews are never anonymously, always by name. And the fact that the technology has been used already by multiple companies and has a review, that then helps the end user to think, hey, this is perhaps also something that can help us. And a typical question we then always get from companies is, hey, where do you get the data from? And the data is coming from the suppliers. So the suppliers, they provide the data. They provide the data via the toolbox environment. And by keeping it up to date, your solution then shows up in the right way in these benchmarking data insights that we provide to the end user. So it's really important that you keep your information up to date. Whenever you have a deployment for another company, add that to the overview, because that then helps to make sure that your solution pops up whenever a company uses this tool. And this tool is being used by individuals, but it's also actively being used as part of technology planning sessions. Just to illustrate, next month I'll be going to Malaysia, supporting multiple companies there with a technology planning session using this tool. And by making sure that your data is up to date, yeah, it will show up whenever we, as part of the workshop, have a look at the data and make a selection of technologies of relevance to the company. So this is, in a nutshell, what we make available to end users. They really like this. It's incredibly powerful. I can just say I wish I had something like this available during the years I was running technology deployment activities in Shell. It would have made my life an awful lot easier. A popular question I always ask to suppliers whenever I met them was, hey, tell me what you did for BP and Exxon, because a very high chance it's also of relevance to Shell. So that was a typical question always asked during the days I was running technology deployment activities in those days. And it's also a typical question that end users in whatever company ask. So when you're an operator in the UK, you're keen to know what other operators in the UK are doing. When you're operating Malaysia, it's good to know what has been used in Malaysia and other countries in Southeast Asia. This tool helps in a tremendous way, and you can help yourself as a supplier to make sure your data is up to date. So those are the key things I want to share about this tool. I'll stop sharing the screen and would be more than happy to answer any questions there may be. The question that came up is, how do I appear on top of the search results? Would you like to have a go at it first, Vincent?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So let me actually share my screen, and it's a very relevant question. So let's go back to the actual search overview. So this is the all technologies overview, and there are actually two ways to automatically appear at the top of the search results. So when you look at this page, what you'll actually see is that the overview always starts with what we call the highlighted technologies. So they have a banner highlighted technologies, and they have gold cards compared to the regular green cards that you will show further down or see further down the search results. Now, how do you appear on top? Those highlighted technologies is a paid feature, so that's also why we make this very clear, the reason why they're appearing on top, and that is something that's unique for the Pro subscription. And the other default setting, so that is the other way how you can appear on top, is that the default sorting when you open the page is based on when a page was last updated. So essentially, there's a reward for suppliers that frequently update their page, because they will then move to the top of the search results again. And the user actually then, from that point onwards, they have features. They can also sort based on technology readiness levels, number of reviews, and things like that. But that's then very much user driven. So I hope that answers the question. So let's see. If there are any other questions for Erik or myself, just use the chat function to type the question.
A cool thing to add here is that we're gonna run these type of sessions on a regular basis. Also, later this month, we're gonna do another webinar, next month again. The functionality is improving and being upgraded on a continuous basis. So whenever you have a look at the platform, technologies have been added or functionality has been added. And so we'll have regular sessions to make sure that the community is up to date with all the changes being made. And if there are no further questions, then suggest, unless there's a last minute thing coming up, or I thought I heard something.
I think there's no more questions. I think maybe worthwhile this. I mentioned just now on the search result, there's something I didn't mention in the presentation, that you can, if the more frequently you edit your page and keep it up to date, the higher it ranks at the search results. After the initial publication, you can actually update your page at any time. So it's actually how I was showing it in the toolbox. You have the edit functionality, and you can actually also, if you have more technologies, for example, you can assign different editors to different technology pages in your team, or within the same account. And I think indeed, if there's no further questions, let's close it here for today. And we hope to see you in the next webinar. It's actually on February 27th. And just check out the website, and you'll see the registration form on the website. So goodbye for now.